Good morning, children. I hope you are all doing well. Here I am fine. Today we have to discuss the second part of our refraction of light at curved surfaces. In the last part, just I have shown an activity. However, a light enters from air to glass medium when the glass is empty, and the other case is when the light enters from air to water medium. So thereby we got two different nature of the image formed. With that, today we'll continue with the next part of our lesson. So in this, you have to see this is your curved surface. You have to imagine this is your like denser medium and this is your rarer medium. And you have to recollect the normals where I have told about the uh, in the ninth class lesson about when we are discussing concave and convex mirrors. So normals are nothing but the perpendiculars drawn to the curved surface. So here the in the when I am telling you in the ninth standard, I told that whenever you have to draw the normal, you have to use a broken lines. So this at this point one normal is drawn, and this point one more normal, and at this point this is nothing but a line PC is called the principal axis. Okay, and this is also comes under normal, and this at this point you have one more normal, and this point you have one more normal. So these are the light rays indications, and these are the normal, and P is the pole, and C is the center of curvature. So this is your principal axis. So we have to discuss relative definitions. Okay, I hope you have understood this. So now we have to discuss what is center of curvature. The center of the sphere of which curved surface is a part is called as center of curvature. So it is similar to your mirror terminology, children. The center of the curved surface is called the pole. Okay, the line that joins the center of curvature and the pole is called the principal axis. Principal axis. These are the terms. Whatever I have explained, you have to remember, and this comes under the definitions for center of curvature, which is represented with C, pole, which is represented with P, and the line joining between P and C is known as principal axis. These are the terms you have to remember for the next part of the lesson. So here we have to understand what happens whenever a ray of light pass through the principal axis and passing through the center of curvature. So here P is the pole and C is the center of curvature. If a ray passes through principal axis, that means I told principal axis one of the normal for this curved surface. If a ray is incidenting normally, that means I is equal to 0. We find R is equal to 0 irrespective of the medium from rarer to denser medium here in this case. And a ray which is passing through center of curvature, here also C is again one of the normal. So if in this case also you have to remember I is equal to 0, R will be 0. That means here refraction angle in both the cases refraction angle is 0. Unlike we have discussed for the plane surfaces that only. What is that? Whenever a light ray enters from rarer to denser medium, when angle I is 0, angle R is also 0. Angle I means incidenting normally. Here incidenting normally means passing through the principal axis. The other one is passing through the center of curvature. So in this case, whatever the light rays we are considering, they travel along the normal, and one more ray is traveling along the center of curvature. They do not deviate. So you have to remember, according to Snell's law, the ray which travels along the normal drawn to the surface does not deviate from its path. Okay, this is the point you have to remember for the further classes. So here, before getting into the main concept, you have to remember four cases are there, and that two important cases. So each one I will discuss now. Please be attentive and listen the cases. So as per the examination, this is not much important, but you have to know for your knowledge. So here this is your rarer medium, and this is your denser medium. So here you have this already I told this is your principal axis and it is center of this curvature point. Okay. And one more, this principal axis also we know as a normal to that surface. So a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a convex surface and passes from rarer medium to denser medium. So if here this is a ray which is parallel to the principal axis. After getting, and I told a ray which is passing through the center of curvature, this is one of the normal. And you have to remember to represent the normal, always we have to use a broken line. So this is the normal drawn from the center of curvature. This is your normal. If this is, you think this is your angle of incidence, so you have to recollect those. What is that? Whenever ray travels from rarer to denser medium, what happens actually? It is nothing but bends towards the normal. So here also, if you see, this is your eye and this is your angle of refraction. So it is bending towards the normal. After bending towards the normal, this refracted ray is meeting at one point. Okay, this is a point you have to remember, ma. So a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a convex surface and passes from rarer to denser medium. Okay, so here again a case 2. Here you have to understand, here this is your denser medium and this is your rarer medium. Again you have to remember a ray which is passing through center of curvature, that is your normal. You have to remember that point. And here see a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a convex surface and passes from denser medium to rarer medium. If this is your convex surface here, convex means bulge out. So if this is a ray parallel to your principal axis. Okay, so when it is coming out, this is your denser medium. So if this is your angle of I, so whenever a ray passing from denser to rarer medium, we know that it moves away from the normal. That is the reason here R is more. Here I is less and R is more. So refracted away from the normal. That's what we are observing in this case. So you have to remember in such a way that, and one more point also you have to remember. This is the refracted ray. See, this is your refracted ray. So if you extend the refracted ray, whatever the case I told you in ninth class also, if any extended ray is there, you have to use a broken line. So extended refracted ray is drawn here, and this is meeting at one point on the principal axis. That point also you have to remember, ma. So a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a convex surface and passes from denser medium to rarer medium. Here, case 3, a ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a concave surface and passes from denser medium to rarer medium. So this is your concave surface here, bent in surface we will consider, and this is your denser medium and this is your rarer medium. Again, this is a normal which is passing through center of curvature. Okay, now we have to consider a ray parallel to the principal. Like this is your light ray we have taken. So when it is striking at the concave surface and the ray is moving from denser to rarer in this case. So denser to rarer, what is the condition there for plane surfaces, refraction occur at plane surfaces. So means moves away from the normal. So this is your I and this is your R. So the refracted ray is moving away from the normal. And these refracted ray meeting on the principal axis at one point. So you have to remember this case also. A ray traveling parallel to the principal axis strikes a concave surface and passes from denser medium to rarer medium. So in this again case 4, you have to see this. A ray traveling parallel to principal axis strikes a concave surface and passes from rarer medium to denser medium. So this is your denser medium and this is your rarer medium. Here again a normal, a ray passing through the center of curvature is a normal, and this is a ray parallel to the principal axis. when it is entering from rarer to denser. So we know what is the condition whenever a light ray enters from rarer to denser, it bends towards the normal. So this is your angle I and here angle R. So here cases R is less than I. So this all the rules is similar to your refraction at plane surfaces. That part you have to remember. Here the surfaces is either it is concave or a convex. But the same rules applied here. What is the main rule, ma? Whenever a light ray enters from rarer to denser, it is nothing but bends towards the normal. In that case, R is less than I. Whenever a ray passing from rarer to denser medium, I told the same thing. Whenever a ray traveling from denser to rarer medium, that means bends away from the normal, R will be greater than I. So that all you have to remember for these four cases. In all the four cases, we observed few points. Already I mentioned that refracted ray is meeting at one point. In cases 1 and 3, the refracted ray reaches the particular point on the principal axis. In cases 2 and 4, the refracted ray moves away from the principal axis. In this case, if the refracted ray extended backwards, here I told in one of the cases, I told extended backwards means you have to draw with a broken line. I told that along the ray, the extended ray intersects the principal axis at some point. So the point where the refracted ray intersects the axis in all the cases, that is known as a focal point. In detail, in one of the part, we will learn what is focal point also. So here the refracted ray is meeting at one point. Here the refracted ray is extended, meeting at one point on the principal axis. And here the refracted ray is meeting at one point here, and here this is case refracted ray is meeting at one point. So in these two cases the refracted ray extended and they are meeting at one point. In these two cases the refracted ray is directly meeting on the principal axis. So these 2 points you have to remember from these four pictures and the four cases what we have already discussed. So this is your bulge out surface and this is your bent inward surface you have to remember, and this is colored portion is your denser medium, this is your radar medium, yeah, this is your rarer medium and this is your denser medium. So one more point you have to remember here, this is optical axis. As per the textbook terminology, it is a principal axis, here optical axis. And I told one point, whenever a ray parallel to principal axis, when it is entering from rarer to denser, it bends towards the normal. So this is here towards the normal and meeting at one point on the principal axis is point. So here if you take this ray, it is meeting at one point, and here it is meeting at one point. Okay. Next, when you go to this ray parallel to principal axis, going from rarer to denser, it bends away from the normal. This is your refracted ray here. And here you have to think the extended refracted ray you have to draw na. This is your extended refracted ray. And focal point I told, this is F ma. And here the focal point F here. In detail we have to learn in the next part of our lessons. Don't worry. Only the color pictures I got, I kept. The other terminologies no need to worry ma. So we'll learn about lenses here. So a lens is formed when a transparent material is bounded by two surfaces of which one or both surfaces are spherical. Or you can define in other way also. A spherical lens is a piece of transparent refracting material and it is usually made up of glass which is bounded by two surfaces. Often both the surfaces of lens are spherical. In general, we use both in our 10th class, we use both the surfaces are spherical in nature. And then one more point you have to remember, whatever the lab equipment like lenses, concave and convex, it is also made with crown glass only. Unlike your semicircular glasses and rectangular glass slab. So this is also made up of same refractive index, so nothing but 1.52. So the same material it is made. So here, a converging lens is nothing but comes under convex lens. So biconvex, that means both the surfaces are bulge out surfaces, and this is plano convex. One is plane, the other one is convex. And meniscus means, see, this is also bent in and bulge out. That means here one is convex and the other one is concave surface, diverging lens. Next, diverging lens means both are bent in surfaces. We call it as a biconcave. In general, we can uh, call as concave also. So plano concave. This is a plane and this is your concave surface. Meniscus concave. So this is one of the surface and this is concave and this is one of the surface. Very slightly as compared to this and this structure is different. As compared to this and this, the structure is different. Okay, these are the types of lenses what we discussed. So you have to remember two types of lenses. What we are going to learn in this 10th standard, that is convex lens, or we can call it as a converging lens. So a lens having two spherical surfaces bulging outwards. This point you have to remember, convex means bulge out surface as a refracting surface. So such a lens is called double convex because both the sides are bulging out. And you have to remember one more point is that it is thick at the center and thin at the edges. And one more, concave lens or diverging lens. A lens is bounded by two spherical surfaces curved inwards, or in simple I can tell as bent-in surfaces act as a refracting surfaces for concave lens. And here you have to remember it is thick at the edges, thin at the center. So why we are calling convex lens as a converging lens? Because whenever a light ray falls on the convex lens, it converges the light ray after refraction. And why this concave lens is known as a diverging lens? Whenever a light ray falls on the bent-in surface or a concave lens, after refraction, it diverges the light rays. So that is the reason for concave lens is named as converging lens, and sorry ma, concave lens is named as a diverging lens, and convex lens is named as converging lens. Whatever the explanation I have done, these are the two types of lenses you have to remember. So this is your converging lens, or we can call it as a convex lens. This is your bulge out surfaces, where in this part we'll see the refraction of light. For the ray diagrams we'll do, and this is diverging lens. We call it as a biconcave or simply concave. So this I told two bent-in surfaces. These are the bent-in surfaces. So these are the two types of lenses where we discuss in detail in this lesson in the later part of your videos. So in today's class we have learned the cases for concave and convex surfaces, and we have understood what is concave and convex lenses and different types of lenses. So with that, I'll complete today's lesson. Thank you, children. I will meet you in the next online video class. Okay, see you. Have a good day.